The ideas that gave birth to our nation are the ideas that our nation is resistant to right now, and we should talk about that all the time.
In a world where narratives are shaped by corporations and gatekeepers, independent voices matter more than ever. Badlands Media brings together citizen journalists, researchers, and independent thinkers.
The truth is triggering.
Question the narrative. Explore the facts.
It's authenticity, courage, resilience.
Search for the truth others won't.
It's not about being first or being right.
The information war is changing.
It's about being authentic.
Embrace the friction.
Embrace the friction.
Shut the f*** up.
Authentically antagonizing. Join the movement.
I'm going to say how I feel.
Follow Badlands Media.
This is about the future.
The Badlands. What are the Badlands? Explain those Badlands. That's a hell of a name.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Alphas Make Sandwiches. It's episode 69.
Hey,
Nice. Not an episode of Y Chromes. We have a fun show. We're going to do the long march through history. We're going to look at my photo was a fail. Again, I mean, it's what the audience has come to expect, is that I'm going to fail at the photo challenge. And I'm going to tell Caleb's 8th birthday story properly, because that was typical, typical kind of like, drive-by telling of the story. Oh, I just realized that this chat is still logged in as Caleb. So how are you guys doing?
Great. I'm obviously not home.
Where are you? What's that about?
I got to spend Mother's Day with my mom and my grandma, which is the first time that I've been able to do that in a few years. So yeah, I'm down here in Florida.
Oh, that's happy. I love that. I love Florida.
Does that mean we just drove by you? We probably just drove, like we were in the villages.
You're in the villages. That's where my mom works.
America's friendliest hometown.
What the heck? Why didn't I think about this?
Well, you guys were kind of doing some like trauma.
Yeah, we were.
So I get it.
Brian's stepdad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How's he doing?
They can't really do anything right now, so he's just kind of in a holding pattern until they do a cardio cath on Wednesday, and then they're supposed to be transferring him up to Shands in Gainesville to do a spinal surgery to help with blood flow and other things. So they did think he had pneumonia, which he doesn't, so that's
good.
We're out of the woods with that, but we're still, we got to wait to see for this surgery. So
prayers up, everyone, for Brian's stepdad, and also prayers up for Jatriot and his family and his dad. Definitely keep them in your prayers. As I said, we have a packed show today, and I don't have the ads pulled up yet. So first of all, why don't we do camera roll?
Yes. I love the hair flips.
What's that the meme with that one actor where it's like, ooh,
John Hamm.
Yes, with John Hamm. That's what I think of when I hear the song, is I'm him.
Yes.
Anyways.
I feel you. This last week's challenge was interesting. You either nailed it or you failed, and there was like maybe a middle ground, but we tried to capture our reflections using water. And here's the video for us to the reference video.
This crazy photo hack looks weird, but works anywhere. First, bring a bottle of water with you. Pour it out on the floor. Flip your phone upside down and bring it close to the water. Use the level to keep the horizon straight and in the middle. The water will create a reflective surface that will instantly level up any photo. Here's the result. This crazy photo hack looks weird.
So, using the water, I initially did not have water to do the challenge. So I was like, I have a mirror in my bag. So I attempted to use that, but I'll show you guys that in a second. And here are the submissions from this week. Here we go. All right. So first up, we had Ashe.
Used the water bottle, dumped the water bottle on the deck, and that's what we got.
I mean, I also did the same thing, but it's very hot here in Florida, so you have to get like a gallon of water and like dump it for it to not absorb into the ground.
Evaporates right away.
Floor has to be level because everything is angled, like because I was sitting in the front driveway of my house pouring water all over the place, and my entire front everything is angled downward, so it just kept going away, and I'm just like, okay, this is not
Soft Disclosure beard oil though. Softdisclosure.com, promo code Badlands. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Don't listen to Martin. Keep your beards.
No. Yes, keep your beards, and even if you don't have a beard, you can still use the beard oil. So
that's right. It's good face oil.
It will not make you grow a beard.
That is true. I think this one was absolutely fantastic. I love.
Yeah, that's great.
He was so mad at me too. I was doing it, and like he had walked over to drink some water, and I was waiting till he finished. And because I was so close to the water, he just kept looking at me, and he was like, like, "What are you doing? This is my water. What are you?" And so I was trying to get him still, and it's not the best reflection, but you know,
it works. It
works.
We've got some palm trees, which I think was the best, use of the water for sure.
I tried.
Yes.
I don't know. I think Jackie, I think yours is the most artistic.
That's mine
that we got.
I was trying to get that palm tree in the background in the water, but it just kept flowing away. It was really. Oh, also everyone, the cracks they refer to in the sidewalk that might break your mother's back. That is one of them.
Yes, that is. Don't step on it.
Don't step on
it.
Didn't.
Especially not on Mother's Day.
Yes.
Right.
Be bad.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. So so this is my water photo. You can kind of see the reflection, but like I said, the water evaporated almost immediately. So it didn't last for very long. But while I was at the World Equestrian Center here in Ocala, I was like, I have a mirror in my bag. Let's see if this will work. So I set out my mirror and it did. I thought it was really
okay. So that wasn't actually water. I thought you had water in there.
No. That's just.
I still think that's pretty cool. I like the way that turned out.
Yeah.
Me as my nursery brain is like, oh my God, someone needs to pick those weeds. Why are there weeds in my flower bed?
Yes. So this was audience submissions. We had Liz here who she did. I think I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
And then we also had Salbus. She sent in a few more suggestions, but the other submissions that she sent in actually kind of go with this week's. So I'm saving those so we can sling them for this week's challenge. Yeah. So that was our submissions from last week, and then this week's challenge is. We gotta go to the right one. This one right here. All right. So this is for this week. We're using coffee this time, and this time we're actually going to be using our photo trick where we learned what we learned last year, basically taking a video and then taking a screenshot, because we're kind of doing an action shot with this challenge. So
an action shot with coffee?
Yes, an action shot with coffee.
That's not what
my mouth didn't want to say the words. It's fine.
That is what she said.
Kisses like we could catch them at night. Cupid with arrows, babe. I'm just shooting my shot. If I could get in, drop me a pin, hop in the and come over. Don't wanna be friends, just in the skin. I wanna get closer.
We're making a mess.
If I can make that happen, I will be very impressed.
Very low expectations for myself.
You. I'm here for the mess.
Gonna be interesting.
We're gonna
it's
try.
Cool though. It's cool.
Yes.
Let's see what happens.
I will say like that
wasting coffee is a big ask, but yeah,
that guy or the
It
guy
doesn't have to be
I shouldn't
coffee
say
either,
guy.
though.
Yeah, in like a martini glass, but then you might break it. I don't know. The first thing I wanted to say when that guy started or that person started making that video was, how about maybe take the bra or swimsuit off of the back of the couch where you're trying to take a picture to start with? Maybe we start with that.
Set the scene.
Yes.
The whole scene. All right. So we're splashing the coffee next week. The video will be pinned on Jackie's socials as it always is. And that is your camera roll. All right. Now that I have my shit together, we're going to hear from our first sponsor of today's show, who happens to just have dropped into the chat. Let's hear from Tamarack Garden.
Your body doesn't need more synthetic fixes. It needs real plant medicine. Wild herbs are packed with minerals, adaptogens, and healing compounds your body actually recognizes and can use, supporting energy, immunity, and balance from the inside out. At Tamarack Garden, our supplements bring these overlooked weeds and wildflowers back into your daily routine. Don't just manage symptoms, support your body and eat your weeds. Head to tamarackgarden.com for $10 off your order of $50 or more when you use code BADLANDS at checkout.
All right. We love Tamarack Garden. I have, what do I have here? I have Reflux Rescue. It's good stuff. I have That Time of the Month, which comes in handy.
Yeah.
Also have the Wrinkle Rewind, which I love. There's like coffee in it.
Yeah.
Love the scent of it. I am out of Peace and Calm. So that's a problem because that's like not medical advice, but natural Xanax. And I basically just downed the bottle the other day. I was having a day. And yeah. So I need to get more. So I will.
I travel with Peace and Calm and with Mullen Everything. Literally,
Mullen
all
Everything is good. The Inflame Me Not stick is also good. That's in my purse. I have actually a little one and a big one. Yeah, fantastic stuff. And you know, Michelle is the best. She was here last week. She'll be here again soon because she is, she's one of the homies. She's one of the alphas.
She definitely is.
Yeah,
and it tastes great too. That's one of my favorite things is that it tastes delicious.
Yeah. Oh, the chapstick too. The little, so good. All right. So speaking of alphas, let's hear from Jay's mom.
In a quiet town where beards grow wild and lips dare to crack without permission, one woman has suffered.
Hi, I'm Margie, and I'm Jatriot's mother.
But the world would come to know her by another name, Madame Margie, the moistureless.
Jay came home with a lip balm. It's called Soft Disclosure.
With one miraculous application, her power awakened.
Within one day, my lips were healed. It was miraculous.
But salvation came at a cost. For in the shadowed lands known only as Badlands,
you boys at Badlands are so handsome.
she saw potential.
You're covering up your beautiful faces.
And she made her demand.
Shave them all off.
Or face the consequences. Beard oil will not save you now.
And you'll look so much better.
This summer, moisturize wisely and guard your beard. Because Madame Margie, the moistureless, is always watching.
She is. She is always watching. And it's a problem. We have like a love-hate thing with Margie because she's amazing and she is the mother of Jatriot, who is one of the best people on the planet. But also, she's like the Grim Reaper of beards. And she keeps convincing Badlanders to shave their beards. So that makes her my nemesis because I am the beard Lorax and I speak for the beards. And I think that all men should keep their beards. So there's that. But yeah, you can get the lip balm that she was just talking about. The mini tallow sticks make great lip balm. It's a different formula than the regular lip balm. Either one works. I'm a fan of both. The lotion is I legit think that we have this 11-ounce bottle of lotion. It's made here in Colorado. It has, American goat dairy, American infused oils. It's all made in America. It's incredible. The price point on it is $55. It is, though, like a high-end face cream. Like I use the lotion as it's the only lotion that I use. And so it's kind of a steal when you consider the value, and you're putting your money where your morals are, and you're supporting American farms, American ranchers, American small businesses, 6 at least. And I think it's way more than that when you consider the entire supply chain. But 6 direct small American businesses that you're supporting when you shop Soft Disclosure. It is it's great stuff. We're pretty proud of it. We love it. Softdisclosure.com, promo code Badlands. And we'll talk about the rest of our sponsors later in the show. I think we need to bring in the professor now. Oh, hello.
Hello, my darlings. I was late today because I was afraid I might be getting the sack.
Oh no.
That's foreshadowing.
Well, if you did get the sack, we would do a leaving do.
A leaving do? What is that?
Yeah, when I was working in management consulting, I spent a good amount of time. There's a long stretch of a few years where I was going to England pretty regularly. And when somebody leaves the office, you have like a going away party kind of thing. They call it a leaving do.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah.
Makes me think of shindig.
Yeah.
The terminology. A leaving do.
A leaving do. All right. We're getting the sack.
Today's idiom is getting the sack. All right. So getting the sack is a British idiom that means being fired from a job, which is the workplace equivalent of being thrown out of the bar. It sounds almost cheerful, like you're being given a gift bag, but the only thing inside is disappointment and possibly a cardboard box of your belongings. Yeah. In everyday use, the phrase simply means that your employer has decided your services are no longer required, preferably before you have the time to finish your coffee. The phrase is still widely understood as a humorous or informal way to say someone has been dismissed. So the origin, there's 2 theories on this. The first theory says that the phrase comes from workers or tradesmen who carried their own tools in a sack or bag. If they were dismissed, they would leave with that sack. So getting the sack came to mean being sent away from work. The idea is neat, practical, and very much in the spirit of old school labor life. In short, the theory suggests that the sack was less a punishment and more of, I'm taking my stuff and leaving, you losers.
I like it. I like the framing. Taking my ball and going home.
Yes, I don't want to play with you anymore.
You can't sit with us.
Yes, you cannot. It's not Wednesday, so we're not wearing pink either.
Nope.
The second theory traces getting.
Why would we wear pink on Wednesday?
It's for Mean Girls.
For Mean Girls.
Oh, okay.
You can't sit with us. I don't know. It made me think of kind of
on Wednesdays we wear pink.
Yes. It was a little bit of a stretch. I know. I'm sorry.
No, it's good. I just
my brain went
right over my head.
Anyways, the second theory traces getting the sack back to older slang like give the bag or left holding the bag, which meant being ditched, abandoned, or dismissed as early as the 1590s, long before sacks crashed the party. In this view, sack was just a beefier synonym for bag. It's less about literal luggage and more about the sinking feeling of being handed an empty promise or an empty bag and shown the door, proving English loves recycling its metaphors for misery.
Yeah, that's true.
So this is the first written use in kind of a interesting way to end this all. But the first recorded English version was a phrase that appeared in Charles Westmacott's The English Spy from 1825, where the word was written as Zack. In a quoted line, "You munna split on me or I shall get the Zack for telling on ye."
Oh, yeah. We're using that.
Yes.
We're using that at Gart with Zach Payne.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Zack. Get the Zack. You're going to get the Zack. That early spelling shows that the idiom was already in spoken use before it settled into the familiar form sack. By the 19th century, the phrase had become a recognizable slang term for dismissal. The phrase survived because it is short, vivid, and a little bit ridiculous. Instead of saying you have been formally dismissed, the English chose a phrase that sounded like you should be carrying potatoes, not a resume. Over time, getting the sack became a standard, informal way to describe being fired, especially in British English. Its staying power comes from the image it creates. 1 minute you're at work, the next minute you're, in theory, carrying your own belongings out the door like a Victorian raccoon. That is the magic of idioms because it makes bad news sound almost entertaining.
Yeah. Like a Victorian raccoon.
Victorian raccoon. Raccoon I wanted to use, but I couldn't think of a better. I was thinking like Victoria, a vagabond. I don't know. I couldn't think of a better word, so I went with it.
I want a Victorian raccoon shirt now.
Yes.
Like it needs to have like the full, like with the dress and the garb, and it needs to have the whole thing
with a little sack.
Yes.
Yeah, I was thinking a raccoon standing in front of a Victorian house with like one of those, the pole with the sack.
Oh yes,
yes.
That's running away. Or maybe he has the cat in the bag.
Hi, Jackie's mom.
Oh yes, my mom is in the chat.
Love it. And happy Mother's Day.
Yes, happy Mother's Day
to you, Ashe.
Oh, thank you.
You're a mom.
Thank you. I am that.
Mm-hmm.
I have the proof. My child was on the show before this one.
Yes, he was. We've met him. He's real.
Yeah.
I promise.
He does exist.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fake news.
My mom did the crazy, like the most ridiculous thing. I should have brought the card up here, but well, I was with Brian's mom, so we celebrated with her. We got her like gift cards and Dunkin' Donuts and flowers and balloons and the whole thing. We played cards. We were at the hospital, but I think we had a pretty nice day. But when I got home, we're celebrating with my mom next weekend. When I got home, my mom had left me a Mother's Day card, and I'm like, okay. And I open it up and I start reading it. Well, so I don't know what I was thinking when I was reading. I was like, it could be like I'm a puppy mom, like maybe something. So I'm reading this and it says, Grandma came up with this idea, and my grandma lives down here. My mom sees her every week. And so I'm like, okay, my grandma came up with this. Okay, that's interesting. Grandma had a great idea, and I just went along with it. And I'm like, what? I'm so confused. And then I went back and read the top, and it says, Dear Mommy. And she was writing it from the point of view of Tango. She wrote this whole like 3-paragraph essay, and then she got them to put ink on their paws and had them sign the cards with their paws.
Oh,
I was like, Brian, I have no words. What is this? This is
That's so cute,
right? It's nuts.
Frame it.
I love it.
Yes.
My firstborn child has encouraged me to tell everyone that there are 2 others as well.
We don't know that because
I know
we've never met
always
them.
met them. Yeah, I really wanted to bring everybody to Deadwood, but I don't think I'm going to be able to make it work. But yeah, there's 3 of them, all Y-chromes, and all brilliant and just perfect little angels most of the time. So and none of them are getting the sack.
Nope.
And that's the idiom of the week, right? Or is there
Indeed,
more?
yes.
Indeed.
I realized, I think at the same time as you, that we got kind of sidetracked off of the idiom. I looked over and I'm like, I'm still wearing the glasses.
Yeah. So
Ashe's
on Y-chromes, they were talking about birthdays, and I think we can, you guys both have some birthday stories too, so we can kind of detour and then we'll do history after that. But I said to Caleb in the chat, you should tell everybody about your 8th birthday. And then he told some half-ass version of this story. And so I'm going to tell the actual story. So started, picture it, Cicely. No, kidding.
Picturing
1923. What year was that? What year, Caleb, what year were you 8? Oh my God. I have to do math.
What year was he born?
He was born in 2004, so 2012.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So picture it. Manhattan, 2012. It starts with me being a terrible mother because I'm going to miss his birthday. We lived in Florida. I had to be in New York for a work meeting. And I just couldn't deal with it. So I decided to bring him with me. He spent the week at my in-laws' house on Long Island while I was working. And then on his actual birthday, my mother-in-law, who's also watching, what's up, Mimo? She brought him into the city. They took the train in to the city. And so we get him. Now, the night before, I had been at this dinner and I mentioned, oh, tomorrow I'm going to take Caleb to the Intrepid. You know, he's out here and it's his 8th birthday and it's going to be super fun. And my girlfriend or my colleague sitting next to me was like, he's going to the Intrepid. My best friend is the head of research at the Intrepid. She's like, let me make a call. So we show up at the Intrepid. And for folks that don't know, it's a warship museum now. And full of airplanes, all sorts of cool stuff. We show up on the sign walking in. It says, happy 8th birthday, Caleb. They take us out of line. We are back behind the scenes for pretty much everything. They give him little toys, you know, like they have these like propeller things and stuff that they give like school classes and stuff. He gets all of that. He gets to go. He says, I was 8. Yeah, but you should remember and be able to better tell this story.
Right.
He gets to climb on the airplanes. He told the one he remembered. I don't remember what it was called. But like there's all these other kids in like school groups and stuff. And Caleb is like going under the ropes and like doing all this stuff. It's like the coolest thing ever. And Caleb, when he was a boy, and I think still a little bit,
I think he's still a boy.
Obsessed. Yeah. Well, when he was a boy, he was obsessed with airplanes and still a little bit, I think. Mm-hmm. In fact, the one time, I don't know if I should tell this story, but it's hilarious. So I'm going to tell it. We got called in.
You opened the door.
He was in like the 1st or 2nd grade. And he had been at an air show with my dad the weekend before. And he was drawing pictures at school. And he's got these planes with swastikas on them because he had just been at like an air show where there's World War II aircraft. And so that was fun. But yeah, all like obsessed with airplanes. So that was like, you know, mind blowing. Then we go to the Hard Rock Cafe.
Oh, nice.
And, you know, probably not the coolest thing for an 8-year-old, except the entire place was packed and they all sang happy birthday to him. It was like this, you know, kind of big arena type thing. Absolutely just, you know, blew him away. Then we went to see Spider-Man and I had gotten great orchestra seats and Spider-Man like dropped down and like sprayed him with the web and then like flew off again.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep. And then to top it all off, we went to Dylan's Candy Bar, which is the coolest candy shop in the world. Mm-hmm. And he got to get anything he wanted. And my precious little angel was like, no, Mom, that's enough, when he had like 4 things.
Oh,
I know. So then we're walking back to the train. And Donna, who hadn't had her, Mimo, who hadn't had her hip surgery left, was kind of falling behind us walking. So I've got Caleb in front of me and Donna behind me. And Caleb follows the crowd into the street. And this is a true story. I turned back to check on Donna and Caleb kept walking. And I turned back and I see Caleb in the middle of the road and a cab like right here. And I screamed his name. And I kid you not, the next second he was standing next to me on the sidewalk.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. And that was Caleb's 8th birthday.
Oh,
well, we're glad that Caleb is still here with us.
Same. Yeah.
So Caleb is a wizard,
basically.
No, I think angels.
Or angels, yeah, probably.
Yeah. No, it was crazy. But that was and Kitty in the Y Crumbs chat was like first child privileges, and yeah, like this. Neither of the other 2 boys have had that kind of birthday party. And it was, you know, born of my guilt from being an absentee mother because I was traveling all the time.
Well, I'm sure he's glad to have had that experience.
Yeah. Caleb, tell everybody in the chat. Were you glad to have had that experience?
Tell him you had a great experience.
Tell him you had a great experience, Caleb.
Tell him I'm a good mom. No, just of course you are.
I really am.
I promise.
Oh.
You said yes. We got a yes.
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. Can confirm. All right. So with that, let's talk actually about our incredible sponsor of today's show, and that is Native Path. This episode is brought to you by Native Path Antarctic Krill Oil, omega-3s plus astaxanthin for heart, joints, and memory. I've been reading about a large study that found adults aged 60 to 73 who are regularly supplemented with specific omega-3s had significantly lower risk of developing memory problems. It wasn't fish oil. It was Antarctic krill oil, which crosses into the brain more efficiently. Native Path makes the cleanest version. If you've been taking fish oil for heart, joint, or memory support, here's something you need to know. Research shows fish oil is 50% less absorbable than krill oil because fish oil's omega-3s are in triglyceride form, while krill oils are in phospholipid form, which is the same format your cell walls are made of. That means krill oil gets into your cells immediately. In head-to-head studies, krill oil outperformed fish oil at improving cholesterol, reducing inflammation, and easing joint pain, often at lower doses. Native Path Antarctic Krill Oil is sourced from pristine Antarctic waters and contains the powerful antioxidant astaxanthin and comes in a tiny soft gel, no fishy burps. Learn more and grab your Badlands special discount plus free shipping today at getkrill.com/Badlands. That's GETKRILL.com/Badlands. And shout out to the Native Path people, man. Love them. They have great products. I'm a huge fan of their collagen. Put it in my coffee every single day, and happy to have the fish oil now.
Yep. Yeah. I've actually been taking it. I brought it with me down to Florida, brought the collagen, brought the krill oil with me because I just feel so much better when I do take them. And it is a game changer. So definitely get some.
And the really says, leave him alone. He's busy drawing swastikas. Kelb's like, I was 8.
Accurate, like he said. Historically,
it was a historically accurate scene. Yeah.
He was getting canceled before canceling was a thing. Well, I guess I think it was kind of a thing back then.
It was canceled. Yeah. So huge shout out to Native Path. Sorry for the little swastika detour in the middle of that. But getkrill.com/Badlands and get yourself some collagen and their antioxidant drink things, the little packets. Those are really good too.
Yeah.
Big fan of the Native Path people. We love them on this show. All right. It is now time for American history.
I still think we need to extend that longer. We maybe
I don't have to change my costume like you do.
It's not me. It's a different person, Ash. You're going to ruin the magic.
Yeah. Just a reminder, you can find all of my daily history updates on my Substack, asheamerica.substack.com. And we are getting close. We're getting close to the end of the year. It's been quite the year. And, we're doing the week, we're doing a touch, we're touching on history as we walk through the week. So last Monday was May 4th. May the 4th be with you. We talked a lot about that. I saw a meme today that was Orthodox Star Wars fans, May the 11th be with you. The Julian and Gregorian split. That was funny. On May the 4th, we had the Kent State thing. I think we talked about that.
We did.
Last week, right? Okay, so getting into May 5th, Revenge of the 5th,
yes,
known as
or Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah. Allegedly, Alan Shepard became the first American in space. On board Freedom 7, part of NASA's Project Mercury. Allegedly, it's a 15-minute suborbital flight, and it was just weeks after the Soviet Union's first human space flight. It was this perception gap that the Russians were going to beat us, and we gotta beat them.
Mm-hmm.
It's the whole moon thing.
Mm-hmm.
The mission demonstrated that the U.S. could successfully send and recover a human in space, restoring national confidence. And he said on his view of Earth from suborbital space,
does that even count as space?
It's like Katy Perry, right?
Yeah, I was going to say that's like the same thing that they did.
Yeah, I believe
Perry and Alan Shepard are basically the same.
That happened. Like the fact that they went to the moon and were walking around on it's a little bit questionable. But sending somebody just above the atmosphere,
buggies. Yeah, yeah. It's it's the whole matter is should should welcome inquiry if we are intellectually dishonest or intellectually honest, but instead what we end up with is a bunch of allegations that you're retarded if you question anything about it.
Yes.
So he said, I realized up there that our planet is not infinite. It's fragile.
Okay.
I don't know why I made him British. I just wanted to do the accent, I think. Led to a ton of investment, pouring resources into space. It became the main domain of science. I always think about in Toy Story when Woody gets replaced with Buzz.
Oh, yep.
And like the lunchbox changes and the sheets change and the posters on the wall change and Woody gets kind of thrown in the closet.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever we hear about the emergence of space, Cam says the moon is made of cheese and cheese is real.
I don't see any lies there.
Cheese is real. I can confirm. All right. So then we had Bobby Sands, who died on May 5th, 1981, after a 66-day hunger strike. He was kind of iconic. His quote here that I pulled is everyone, Republican or otherwise, has their own particular part to play. No part is too great or too small. No one is too old or too young to do something. And I feel like that's kind of my worldview, especially now where everything is corrupt. All of the institutions are captured. All of the authorities are lying to us. Ashe, do you really mean all? Yep.
Yes.
Sure do. I sure do mean all. It is going to take every single one of us. And back when we were doing USCIP and doing the canvassing and all of the election stuff in 2020 and 2021, people would say, I want to do something. How can I help? How can I get involved? What can I do? And our first step was to orient them towards their county because local change is what matters. And I think that's true today as well. But what I would say is whatever that thing is for you, whatever when you're doing it, you're super focused, time is flying by, you're intellectually stimulated, like your brain is turned on, you feel like you're doing what you were meant to be doing, what you were created to do. That's what you need to do. Do that for your community, for the nation, for the broader mission of reclaiming sovereignty. And that's, I stand by it. And this is, the same vibe. Everyone, Republican or otherwise, has their own particular part to play. No part too great or too small. No one is too old or too young to do something.
I think the most important thing to a starting point to start with, even if you don't know, you're still not sure about all the politics involved, is just when you go to the grocery store, talk to the the cashier, talk to the person like, oh, I'm returning this cart. Do you need one? Like, just start talking to people, because then you'll feel like our phones make it so separate, and that you're just like, oh, I can't do anything to make a change because I'm just one little person. But you realize once you start talking to people, it gives you the courage to be able to go do those things. So I've been trying my best to do that more, like actually have real conversations with people when I go places, not just transactional, thank you, whatever. Just be like, oh, I really love your shirt or anything. And you will feel better. They will feel better. It's just, I think that's the first
And
step.
Bobby Sands was a socialist, right? This is all stemming around the Irish independence, struggle. I don't think that's a socialist idea. I think maybe something that's been co-opted by political movements, but I think it's a human idea. Exactly what Christy is talking about. Human connection. We are created to be in relationship, and that's with our most intimate friends and family, but also in our communities. And I totally agree with you. Like when you go out, you're going to the grocery store, or you're going to the gas station, or you're going to do something, like, be human.
Yeah,
connect.
have a conversation with someone. Anyone.
Jackie, any thoughts?
I will for sure say, like, I work from home now, essentially, and I feel that disconnect of not being able to like actually see and talk to people. So getting out of the house this weekend and actually going and talking to people and having like, I mean, I went to like Walmart to go get a Mother's Day card, and literally there were no cards in the aisle on a Saturday. And so I was talking to this woman next to me, and she, you know, she's like, oh, I'm not even here for a Mother's Day card. I'm here for a graduation card. And she's like, what does that say about us that we waited until the last possible second to get a card? So, you know, just having those conversations with people and building that connection just really made me feel more connected with the world, because, you know, seeing you guys and, you know, having these conversations on the internet is great. But, you know, I don't get to touch you and like talk to you. And that's why I enjoy going to Garts and stuff like that, because, you know, we get that physical connection, that because we need that as humans, you know. It comes from the moment of like conception, essentially. We wouldn't be here without touch, and we just need touch in our lives. And it really just brings us, it's one of our six senses for a reason.
Yeah. Let's pull that back up, because I think we need to talk about the fact that Cam is the exception here, because Cam is the mayor of everywhere he goes.
Yes.
And you can overdo this, I think, where you are, you know, just I can't hate on Cam for this, because I'm the same way. Whenever we go to concerts, Matt's like, okay, let's go like sit down and watch the show, and I'm like, but all these friends, we're some friends, we're making friends.
Yeah,
I'm with Matt.
Oh my gosh, we still need to come there for that.
Cam and I'll go hang out. We'll go.
Brian gets mad. Know everyone. Like, how do you? Can we just go sit? No, I know all these people, and then I have to explain to him. You remember when you met this guy one time 10 years ago? He was wearing this shirt. He was standing in the corner. And he's like, what? And I'm like, you know him? And he's like, you say this about everyone.
That's the thing. Like, I get it. Like, I have that elephant memory when it comes to like remembering people. I just don't like talking to them. Like
yeah.
Like I don't.
We'll work on it, Jackie. We're gonna work on it.
I know.
Yes. Cam, help Jackie.
I've been doing better. I will say that I have done a lot better since having to go to Gart and talk to you guys, and it really has helped. It was a lot worse when I was a child. I can tell you that, but it is working.
Yeah. Your mom just offered to be Cam's campaign manager.
Oh, that's not the given. She's got the job already.
All right. So then we also had on May 5th, we had the I Love You virus. This was kind of a breakthrough in cybersecurity threats, led to a bunch of changes in how we're dealing with the technology age. That was 2000, the year 2000. Wow. So come a long way. And unfortunately, it still seems like we're pretty unprepared to deal with cyber threats, because cyber threats are always evolving and the ability to combat them not evolving as quickly. So and it is what it is. We had the first woman to receive a patent. It was a method of weaving straw with silk or thread. So that was kind of cool.
Awesome.
We had John T. Scopes in 1925. And that was the first woman to get a patent was 1809.
Nice.
American patent. In 1925, John T. Scopes was arrested for teaching evolution in public school. A very famous trial about what is appropriate and what is not appropriate for the science to be taught in school. Interestingly, and I think somebody put this in the comments on this particular history update, now you can get arrested for not teaching evolution in school. So there you go. And then the Netherlands was liberated from Nazis. Shout out to the Netherlands. Not to the Nazis. No matter what's on that plane.
Okay.
All right. So then we have some disasters. 1937 on May 6th, we had the Hindenburg.
Mm-hmm.
And this is from Herbert Morrison, who was broadcasting as it was happening. Quote, "It's burning, bursting into flames, and it's falling on the mooring mast. This is one of the worst catastrophes in the world. It's a terrific crash, ladies and gentlemen. I can't talk, ladies and gentlemen. Honest. It's completely a mass of smoking wreckage." And that's something that is, the visuals are still used today. And the metaphor of the Hindenburg is still employed today as massive disasters.
We think, I'm just asking because I don't know. We think that one is legitimate.
Yeah, I
lead?
was going to ask.
In as much as any of them are.
Well, do we think that it was an op? I guess is what. Do we think?
Oh,
that,
I don't know. I don't know.
Who would have been the one in charge of the
theories on it? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a theory. I think there are theories. Someone in the chat will know what the theories are. So yeah, Zach Payne and I have talked about doing a conspiracy theorist version of this project, and he's the keeper of all the conspiracies, right? So we'll have to ask him. Yeah. Maybe I'll shoot it to him in DMs today, and if he has an answer, he can maybe share that on Baseless Conspiracies this evening, which comes on right after Culture of Change. Which on Culture of Change tonight, I have Matt Thayer. He's the filmmaker who made The Trump I Know, and he has a new film coming out. We're going to talk about cancel culture and cancel culture's impact on society more broadly. It's going to be fun. I like Matt. He's been on with Brian and I a few times, so it should be a good show. That's at 9 p.m. Eastern time, followed by Baseless Conspiracies at 10:30. And again, we'll see if we can get that Hindenburg answer. Oh, Spetzel's got us. The U.S. wouldn't let the Germans have any of our helium, so hydrogen was used. That's the biggest conspiracy. Okay.
Oh.
And now NASA is, as I understand it, the largest consumer of helium. Interestingly enough. All right. Just because they say it's impossible doesn't mean you can't do it. On May 6, 1954, Roger Bannister became the first person to run a mile in under 4 minutes. What? And he was English. He said, just because you can't do it. Oh, wait, no. Just because they say it's impossible doesn't mean you can't do it.
A mile in 4 minutes is nuts to me.
Yeah.
That's 4 laps around a track, right?
Yeah, but within a year, multiple runners matched or surpassed it. And a white guy, like, wow.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty impressive.
It is super impressive. And then we had the Channel Tunnel. I think we've talked about this before when they met. I think we had the history update when the two sides. So on one side, the Brits were digging, and on the other side, the French were digging, and then they met in the middle, and it was like, oh, hello, mate. And they so this is the actual finishing of the tunnel, and it opened on May 6, 1994. You can see here in this picture. Let's see if I can zoom into this a little bit.
The sense of relief I'm sure they felt when they went through the other side and the water didn't come rushing in.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel so claustrophobic about this entire story. You know that Jaws where they're in the tunnel under the water, and then like Jaws starts the big shark breaking in. That's this vibes for me. 31 miles long, it became one of the greatest engineering achievements of the 20th century. The tunnel dramatically changed trade, tourism, transportation, and economic integration across Europe. I still remember the excitement of human progress and the wonder of what the future might hold, like it was a moon landing or cracking the atom.
I almost envision that. Like I could see,
it's like you're right there, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
Like with the news reporter, and they're just like giving their account. I get it. I have the whole vision of it.
Yeah. That's what I was going for. So I'm glad to hear it landed. 1527, the Holy Roman Empire sacked Rome. So that's exciting.
Nice.
Major turning point in the Italian Renaissance. In 1882, the Chinese Exclusion Act is signed into law in the U.S., becoming the first major federal law restricting immigration by nationality. And we've done it. We've done it again. You know, we have President Trump did it during his first administration, restricted travel from certain Muslim nations for security reasons, and then also for COVID reasons, restricted immigration and people coming into our country based on where they're from. We've also enabled immigration based on where people are from. This is the temporary protected status that was a major priority of the Biden administration. One of the first things they did, I believe they signed that into law in February of 2021, if I'm not signed it into executive order, not law, in 2021. And that was always interesting to me because it was a Kamala Harris campaign priority. The temporary protected status for Haitians, Cubans, Venezuelans, Nicaraguans was a major priority for Kamala Harris. She obviously, lost the primary. She was dead last, then got picked for some reason to be the VP. And one of the first things that they did when they came in was sign TPS into executive order. And then that enabled the flooding of our country with migrants from those 4 nations and gave them all protected status and benefits and all sorts of stuff. And, I would say that's what the people voted for, except they didn't. And elections are fake. And especially that one where we're told that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris received 81 million real lawful American votes, hat tip Chris Paul, which was never true. And it was never believable. Nope. So deep roots going back to 1882. Works Progress Administration signed by FDR as part of the New Deal. The Civil Rights Act of 1957, strengthening voting rights enforcement, 1957. Tune in. I don't know how much time we're going to have for this, but Brian and I really hope we have time to dig in at least a little bit to Mark Elias's latest spin out on the Voting Rights Act, and particularly Section 2 being the final nail in the coffin of them being able to draw racist districts, congressional districts. In an effort to combat racism, you have to let us be racist. The court said, absolutely not. You're saying that the Voting Rights Act Section 2 requires you to be racist. And we say, no, it doesn't. And Mark Elias is very upset about it. He issued a new episode about that today. He is having an episode and he recorded it. So hopefully we'll have some time to go into that because I always love making fun of Mark Elias. It brings me great joy. We had the iMac G3 in 1998 from Apple. And then the final episode of Friends airs. And I know that this is not going to get kind of love from you two millennial bitches as it does from my generation, because your generation for some reason does not appreciate the brilliance of the TV show Friends, but
that's not true.
I appreciated it. I watched it all the way through in college for the first time because I was like, obviously, like my roommates were like, you have to watch it, and I was like, okay, let's do it. At the time, they were really into Gilmore Girls, and I was like, I can't get into that just yet. Good. So I waited until I was in my 30s. Love it. We're good now, but I did love the Friends back then. I after, waking up and like discovering that they probably were doing some real shady shit on set.
Yeah.
It's like probably not the biggest fan of them now, but
I have to kind of separate that.
Yeah.
It's like when, you really love a musician. Like for me, Dave Matthews Band, favorite band in the world, seen them over 40 times, going to see them again in August. Have to just separate the political commentary and all of the things. But yeah, Friends was iconic. My sister-in-law and I had a Friends board game that we turned into a drinking game that we played every time we were together. And the, all of the things that we got from Friends was fantastic. That ended in 2004. All right.
Wow.
Yeah, I wasn't a Friends person. I'm sorry. But I think that it's kind of like a crossover thing. It's like a Gen X millennial crossover thing because I have so many millennial friends that are obsessed with Friends. Obsessed with Friends. Like to the point every time we hang out together, they try to make me watch the first episode. And like
why would you watch the first episode? The first episode is not that good.
Well, they want me to start from the beginning and watch the whole thing. And you
don't start with the first episode though. That's the thing. Like you get like the best episode. You like reel them in. The best episode kind of thing. And then you're like, okay, let's start from the beginning kind of thing. You don't start with the first episode.
Well, that's probably why I didn't get into it. So maybe send me the best episode and I will watch it just for you guys. At least watch that.
I love a challenge. Wild Blue 208 says Seinfeld is better than Friends. Fight me. You're a dude, aren't you?
I've never watched Seinfeld, so I don't have an opinion.
Well, first of all,
a boomer show.
He's wrong. Second of all, it's definitely a dude take. And Michelle says Friends was my favorite. Pivot. That's when they're moving the couch.
Yeah, I had a shirt that had that.
So good.
Yes.
Yeah. I do know most of the little idiosyncrasies and like I know how to identify Friends things from people that I know, but I haven't watched more than one show at a time. Like I've watched parts of them. I've never like sat down and watched them through.
Oh, Wild Blue says she's a lady. Damn it. I don't even know what to make of that, except that you're wrong and I will fight you.
Sounds like something a dude would say.
Sounds like something a dude would say. Yeah. So Christy, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed, but we're going to fix it and it's going to be fine. Okay. Whether the Germans were justified in sinking a ship full of civilians. British ocean liner RMS Lusitania was torpedoed off the coast of Ireland by a German submarine, killing 1,200 people, including 128 Americans on May 7th, 1915. Let's see, that looks devastating.
Yeah.
I don't know what accent to do this in.
Charles.
This is the possible exception of a few soldiers on leave. The ship's passengers were all civilians, so it may be better to ask whether the Germans were justified in sinking a ship full of civilians simply to keep the weapons from falling into their enemies' hands.
Perfect.
At first I thought it was Russian, and then I was like, oh, nope, this is German.
Yeah, okay, so then Mart down here, I think, oh, where did it go? I could have sworn that he gave me so somebody 3 more comments. It's got to be in here.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's 3 more comments.
All right, yeah. So I got some additional information on this. Where is it though? Well, shoot. I had a whole he must have just sent it into my email, chastising me for not knowing like the rest of the story. Apparently, there was a ton of warnings provided to the passengers telling them not to go, and they went anyway. And there's a whole other, conspiratorial backstory to that. So my apologies for not knowing it. But
homework.
May 7th, 1945. So when was this one? It was 1950s. So exactly 30 years later, the German war in Europe was at an end. The World War II in Europe was at an end. The signing of the agreement on May 7th, 1945, German surrender in Reims, American headquarters. You've got Major Wilhelm Oxenius, Colonel General Alfred Jodl, Chief of OKW Operations Staff, who signed the instrument of surrender on behalf of the OKW, General Admiral Hans-Georg von Friedberg, Commander-in-Chief of the German Navy, and Kenneth D. Strong is the guy standing here. And yeah, comes to us from the National World War II Museum. I believe that one's in Chicago. The surrender marked, actually, let's check that because it might be New Orleans. I get mixed up on my sources from time to time. New Orleans. This one's in New Orleans. The surrender marked the collapse of Adolf Hitler's regime. After years of devastating warfare across Europe for the United States, victory in Europe solidified its position as dominant military, industrial, geopolitical superpower. The following day is Victory in Europe Day, VE Day, that comes to us on May end. Winston Churchill said the German war is therefore at an end. And yeah. And then Beethoven's Ninth Symphony premiered in Vienna on May 7th, 1824. Those were not.
Wow, they could videotape back then. Wow,
yeah, that's it. Beethoven down there in a full ensemble with
concert halls and everything.
No,
I thought it was like a new. He came out with a newer one or something, and I was like, oh, and then you said 18. I was like, wait, no, no, it's not.
It's the reboot.
Yeah.
Beethoven Redux. Let's see. Sony was founded in 1946 on May 7th. The 27th Amendment was ratified. This has to do with the compensation of elected officials. That was in 1992. And in 1999, NATO mistakenly bombed the Chinese embassy in Belgrade during the Kosovo War.
How do you mistakenly do that?
Whoops.
Yes.
We didn't mean to actually push the button.
Okay.
Oh. I thought
we actually meant the other number.
Funny.
The other location with the same numbers.
Oh, good times. All right. So May 8th, 1886. Jackie, you're going to love this one. Cam, you're going to love this as well. We have the first glass of Coca-Cola
Woohoo!
being sold at the Jacobs Pharmacy in Atlanta.
What I hate Coca-Cola, apparently.
Atlanta.
Camera excited, but Christy is not.
The Atlanta connection.
Yes. I've been to the world of Coca-Cola.
Yeah, no, we all have. So it's like Babyland General with the Cabbage Patch Kids, right? When you grow up in Atlanta, you have to do these very Atlanta specific things.
Oh, okay.
The Cabbage Patch Kid thing is like,
I have not done that. I will say. Well, I mean, I also didn't grow up in Georgia. I grew up in Florida.
Yeah.
So like
that's a whole conspiracy theory of the Cabbage Patch Kids. But yeah, when you were born in Atlanta, and I was born at Northside Hospital in Atlanta, you sign a lifelong contract with the Coca-Cola company saying that you will never drink Pepsi because it's gross.
Except for during the Super Bowl, because Super Bowl came in, and I remember vividly that
You're
they
not
took.
from Atlanta.
Well, no, that's the thing.
Michael Jackson's hair.
No, well, no,
how
like
dare
I was
you,
living in Atlanta. No, I was living in Atlanta, and during the Super Bowl, they took down all of the Coca-Cola things, and because the Pepsi is the main sponsor of the Super Bowl, they had to put up Pepsi stuff. And we went down to Super Bowl, like Super Bowl land, if you will, and we saw all the Pepsi things. They had to take it out all the Coca-Cola. I did not. Solidarity.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah. So we have what began as a medicinal tonic evolved into one of the most recognizable consumer products in history, a symbol of American capitalism and global culture. Coca-Cola helped pioneer modern branding, mass advertising, and international franchising. We've got some of their taglines here. Drink Coca-Cola, a little on the nose, right?
Yeah.
1886.
You should bring that one back.
The pause that refreshes.
Oh.
No.
1929. It's a good one. It's the real thing.
Okay, that one's okay.
1929. Yeah, that was 10 years before I was born, but I feel like I remember that. Like, was it? It's the real thing up until 2010, maybe.
My guess is
Open Happiness. I don't remember, but
I remember
2010 was a rough year for me.
Make me think of the polar bears. I think of the polar bears or was that Share a Coke? I don't know.
No, that was
the polar bears is the Christmas one. They always come out at Christmas.
Yeah,
yeah.
I remember Open Happiness.
Well, Open Happiness didn't last long because the following year they changed it to Share a Coke, and that's I think where we got all the names, which was a fun little thing. And now we're at Real Magic. I wonder if that means they're putting blowback in it.
I hope so.
Maybe Real Sugar. Maybe we could just hope optimistically for that instead.
Yeah. And people in the chat, don't drink soda. Queen Bee's like, don't drink soda. It will rot your gut. Obviously, yeah. We don't endorse drinking soda, but Coca-Cola is an iconic American brand with a long storied history. And for those of us that grew up in Atlanta, it's kind of a big deal.
Yep.
Marcy's talking about Tab. Like that's not real. All right. Then they did, I threw back to when we did the new Coke flop because iconic brand also had some infamous moments. All right, we have VE Day. We talked about that already. And then we had this whole season of boycotting the Olympics. So the Soviet Union boycotted the 1984 Olympics, citing security concerns for its athletes. This was the cover of Sports Illustrated. They announced this on May 8th. It was retaliation for the U.S.-led boycott of the 1980 Moscow Games, allegedly, even though they didn't openly say that. That was following the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. And Ronald Reagan, let's see if I can do a Ronald Reagan. I think they're losers. I think they don't want to be embarrassed by having their revered athletes come to this country and decide to stay.
It's pretty good.
This was never done that one before, so it is what it is.
Work in progress.
14 other countries joined the boycott. Very sad, very, sad stuff. 1980, the tensions, if you think about like the Miracle on Ice, that was the Winter Olympics, 1980, in Lake Placid, where you had this kind of geopolitical tension in the whole world looking at the U.S., the whole nation, looking at the U.S. hockey team for hope and change and all of the things. Same season, high tensions with Russia. I feel like that's kind of what they've tried to rebirth in the last few years. Certainly when the Russian invasion of Ukraine happened, there was a push to make us all very anti-Russian, which always just felt like, I'm like, well, what'd they do? What was Ukraine wearing, first of all? And it turns out Ukraine was wearing biolabs and NATO colors right up on Russia's border. So
that's fun.
Yeah. Psyops, to galvanize the public, to grab the collective mind, to get everybody emotionally charged in a certain direction. Never organic. All right. In the interest of time, we're going to motor past these guys and go to the 9th. This is probably my favorite one of the week. It is the Join or Die cartoon, May 9th, 1954. Benjamin Franklin Frankish. Benjamin.
It's Billie Eilish. Great grandfather.
Yeah. Breaking. Benjamin Franklin published Join or Die in the Pennsylvania Gazette. The segmented snake illustration urged the American colonies to unite during the French and Indian War, and later became a lasting symbol, lasts even to this day. Kind of the evolution into the Don't Tread on Me and lasting symbol of colonial unity and resistance. Historians often regard Join or Die as America's first major political cartoon and one of the earliest visual expressions of intercolonial identity. Its message of unity foreshadowed the political cooperation that eventually led to the American Revolution. I want to just point out, this here is an actual wood carving by a company called Patriot Wood. And I was looking for an image for this and found these guys. They have really beautiful stuff, and I would encourage folks to check them out. You can grab the link under the photo in my Substack. This is the May 9th Substack. So then it was in 1774, Paul Revere fitted the cartoon to the front of the Massachusetts Spy newspaper in order to display unity against the British Empire. The cartoon was retrofitted in the top, seen attacking a British dragon. So you can see that here.
I like the other one better.
Oh, sure. Yeah. But this is 20 years later, you know. Wow. So 20 years later, it evolves to lead, to kind of at the beginning, at the outset of the American Revolution. And yeah, very, very cool. Join or Die. Still relevant. What do you guys think? Think it's still relevant? American unity in the face of oppression and tyranny.
Mm-hmm. People coming together. Very, very relevant.
Yeah, I see, like, just driving down the interstate, you see people all over their trucks and their cars and stuff. They have the flags or like the bumper stickers with the Join or Die or the Don't Tread on Me. And I think it has definitely made a resurgence where, like Christy was saying, where people are just like joining together and wanting to actually do something.
Yep.
Yeah, Marine in the Woods said it was the first meme. They didn't have AI back then, just wood. Yeah,
they do have wood now, and that's that.
And you can get it at Patriot Wood.
Yes,
the link is in my Substack. And there's no, I've never talked to those guys. There's no affiliate or anything like that. I just think they're really cool. They have really good, really beautiful work over at that site. I would encourage people, if you have not, thank you, Jackie. If you have not watched the John Adams miniseries, it's an HBO production from years and years ago. I try to watch it once every few years. But I learned, a lot of this part of the revolutionary history, the appeal to heaven and Don't Tread on Me and Join or Die. I learned that during the Tea Party. That was, that kind of symbolism and the history. Mm-hmm. And never in my wildest Tea Party dreams did I ever think that we could have gotten to this point in America, like to COVID or to the stolen election or to Mark Elias still walking around free. That is mind-boggling to me that the American people, I think, much more awake now than they were during the Tea Party. I think, the Republican Party threw the Tea Party under the bus, backed over them, and then set them on fire. But out of the ashes, MAGA was born. And I think that is, we've got to be getting close to the point where the Americans are, as we talked about at the top, going to realize, what is my role? What is my job to do in saving our nation, and to step up and do it?
Yeah.
Right. We say on Culture of Change happens one conversation at a time. Be brave and speak the truth. And that's what it takes. That's the starting point.
Yeah.
And then we have the proclamation ending the Civil War by Andrew Johnson. And I thought that this was really interesting symmetry, that these things happened on the same day, on May 9th, that join or die, kind of the birth of an idea 20 years before the American Revolution, right?
Mhm.
This idea of unity, the snake is segmented, right? It's not all joined together as one unified snake, which is what it sort of became in the wake of the Civil War. But the birth of this idea of American sovereignty, opposition to tyranny, British tyranny, that on the same day, 111 years later, we had kind of its death. And it's sad to say that, but you know what, guys? It's true. If you read our secret constitution, if you look at the Reconstruction Amendments, if you look at what happened in the wake of the Civil War, the rights of the states were stripped away. The power was inverted. Those amendments were passed by legislatures appointed and ratified. Those amendments to our Constitution were allegedly passed by state legislatures appointed by the North. And it was, military occupation, military control. And the results of that echo to this day. And so I thought that was interesting, that the birth of Join or Die and the end of the Civil War happened on the same day. And then we have the Schuman Declaration. May 9th, 1950, French Foreign Minister Robert Schuman delivered the Schuman Declaration, proposing that European nations pool coal and steel production under a shared authority. The plan became the foundation of the European coal and steel industry, and eventually the modern European Union. Coming only 5 years after World War II ended, the proposal sought to make another major European war not merely unthinkable, but materially impossible. This is one of the key steps to tying together the global economy, the economies of the individual nations into mutually assured economic destruction, which was told to us in this. We can't ever let this happen again, right? It says it here, not merely unthinkable, but materially impossible. It is the birth of globalism. It is the birth of the global economy on the same day as Join or Death's birth. It's sort of at the end of the Civil War, and then globalism. Sometimes it just rhymes, guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just all
Right?
in one day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
May 9th, hell of a day. Marine in the Woods says everything after the Bill of Rights should be abolished. I tend to agree with you, sir. All right. So we had Thomas. This made me think of I can't think of his name. One of you guys will probably remember the lead character, the boy in Tangled.
Flynn Rider.
Yeah. Thomas Blood led a disguised raid on the Tower of London in 1671, overpowered the keeper, flattened the crown with a mallet, and tried to escape with the crown jewels, but he was caught before getting away. Charles II later surprisingly pardoned him, so the attempt became famous not just as a theft, but as one of the most audacious episodes in Restoration England. I have never heard that story before, but it made me think of that Flynn guy.
Yep, I could see
Right.
that. And then just Rapunzel slapping him with the
frying pan.
Yep.
Yeah. Great movie.
That actually makes me think of what the guys were talking about earlier when they're like, oh, two kinds of wives. And one's like flipping a skillet and the other one's trying to like hit him with the skillet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's why we all want a cast iron. We
Right.
say
Who knew?
because the guys, They want to cook in it, but we have it as a weapon in case they step out of line.
Exactly that. In 1960, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration approved the first commercially available birth control. Margaret Sanger founded the modern birth control movement, coined the term birth control, and opened the first U.S. birth control clinic in Brooklyn in 1916, helped launch major organizations and publications that pushed contraception into public debate. She was a demonic eugenicist who wanted to stop Black people from procreating, and today's milestone, on the 9th, is her accomplishment, if it's anyone's. And I know everybody loves their birth control, but there are real trade-offs and side effects to what it does to your body and what it does to your hormones, and also it's an op to make you think that being a whore is liberation.
Birth control made me fat.
I don't think it made me fat. But there are hormonal side effects. Shout out to Mrs. Riza Tyre, who is not feeling well. She's a little bit under the weather. Everybody please send up a prayer for her as well. Then we got the impeachment hearing started in 1974 against Nixon. And this one I totally messed up on, but I left it because, I'm owning my error here. But
is that Nelson Mandela?
I put the correct day because that is Nelson Mandela. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that not right? Is that not historic?
Wait, it's a Mandela effect. I don't remember him looking like that.
Well, that was why I have Fozzie there, is because I said Nelson Mandela was inaugurated as South Africa's first democratically elected president on May 10th, 1994. I put the day in there on May 9th. I was rushing and then I said he had quite the effect on history. Waka waka.
I get it.
Okay. Makes more sense.
All right. Let's see. And then finally, our final day that we're going to examine, May 10th, 1775, delegates from across the American colonies gathered in Philadelphia for the Second Continental Congress, forming the highly ineffective, in my opinion, political leadership that would guide the colonies through the Revolutionary War. It really comes to life, and some of it is Hollywood and, showrunner invention and all of that kind of stuff, but it really comes to life in the John Adams miniseries. You see the soldiers with George Washington out in the field, kind of starving and freezing and not having the supplies they need and eating their shoe leather and all of these things. And then you see these pompous windbags in Philadelphia in Independence Hall arguing about whether or not they should give them what they need. And it's like Congress has always been this way. It's kind of the reading this, I'm pretty down on Congress. I don't think anybody.
Pompous windbag is probably one of my favorite.
Yes,
pompous windbag.
Yes, I love it.
There were a lot of them.
Really makes me think of the guy. Exactly that image is what I see when someone says pompous windbag.
Yeah. So, President Trump last year issued a proclamation about the inauguration of the Second Continental Congress, comprised of true American titans like John and Samuel Adams, Thomas Jefferson, Roger Sherman, Benjamin Franklin, John Hancock, James Madison, John Jay, and George Washington, whom Congress later appointed as the commander-in-chief of the Continental Army. The Second Continental Congress was made up of some of the boldest, fiercest, and most and I can't do a Trump impression, so it's not happening. Boldest, fiercest, and most visionary men ever to walk the face of the earth. The remarkable body would go on to preside over the Revolutionary War, establish critical international alliances, and maintain unity among the 13 colonies as America secured its independence and ultimately emerged as a new nation. The Second Continental Congress set in motion our independence, our venerated political traditions, and the birth of the greatest republic ever created. As we commemorate 250 years since its first convening, again, this was last year, so this was 251 years yesterday, we recommit the ideals of our nation's founding. We summon the courage of our founding fathers above all. As we approach 250 years of glorious independence, we proudly invoke the spirit of 1776 to build a proud, hopeful, and radiant future. And that was President Trump's presidential message on the 250th anniversary of the first convening of the Second Continental Congress, March 10th, 2025. On the same day that was happening, that the Congress was coming together out in the field, Patriot forces led by Ethan Allen and Benedict Arnold captured Fort Ticonderoga from British in present-day New York. The victory secured critical artillery and military supplies that were later transported to Boston, helping force the British evacuation of the city in 1776. And Arnold would go on to betray his countrymen, and his name is synonymous with traitor. He calls someone a Benedict Arnold. You're calling them a traitor because he was. Yes. Fuck that guy. All right. So then, we talked about the two sides of the tunnel coming together. This is nice. We had the two railroads coming together, which is kind of cool. This looks like a kind of a fun moment. See all these guys shaking hands. You got a train over here. You got a train over here. And this was the driving of the Golden Spike in Promontory Summit, Utah, May 10th, 1869. It connected the Central Pacific and the Union Pacific Railroads into the first transcontinental rail line.
I've been there.
Yeah, they made the nation small, right? Nation became much more accessible. It transformed national markets, goods, people, information were able to move more freely across the continent at unprecedented speeds. It went from going, across the country, taking a matter of months to it taking about a week, which is, if you think about that, like that kind of transformation, it's that's pretty profound. The year was a telegraph sent after the Golden Spike ceremony that simply said "done," and the inscription on the Golden Spike reads, "May God continue the unity of our country as the railroad unites the two great oceans of the world." Project symbolize, post-Civil War reunification and America's emergence as an industrial power. America is always emerging. Everything that happens in history is like, oh, we emerged as this and we emerged as that. We're being transformed. And then, of course, it exacerbated the exploitation of immigrant labor, particularly the Chinese. And, some said they had it coming. I don't mean that. I don't know if they had it coming. The Chinese are dicks right now, but
yeah.
And then we had Blitzkrieg that happened on May 10th in 1940, an all-out assault by the Nazis. Churchill was sad about it. He says, I have nothing to offer except blood, toil, tears, and sweat. And that was a turning point in the balance of power in Europe in 1940, which again would turn later on and led to VE Day, which was, celebrated the same week.
Right.
We have Confederate President Jefferson Davis captured by Union forces in Georgia. J. Edgar Hoover, that was in 1865. In 1924, J. Edgar Hoover was appointed the head of the Bureau of Investigation, which would go on to become the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and is still corrupted down to his roots and needs to be abolished, in my opinion. Sorry to any FBI people in the chat, but
yeah,
you lost the trust of the people. What are you going to do?
Start over.
The book burnings of the Nazis in 1933. One thing that flies under the radar about those book burnings is that the students, like the Hitler Youth kind of student people, went into Magnus Hirschfeld's Institute for Sexual Science, took all the books, it was basically the early transgender research. At this Sexual Science Institute, there were a number of transgender individuals that they were, experimenting on. It was the emergence of that kind of school of thought, and they burned them. They also burned commie stuff and socialist stuff. And what's that?
The books.
Oh, the book. Yeah. So thank you, Christy. Yeah, that would be a historical rewrite. I don't believe they actually burned the transgender people, but they did burn their books.
Oh, okay.
And then John Wayne Gacy, executed in Illinois. Nelson Mandela, on the exact same day, was inaugurated.
Right? I feel like I've seen this before.
Yeah, we saw it yesterday because I put it on the wrong day. And then former FBI agent in 2002, Robert Hansen, received life in prison for espionage.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. And then hang on, I can give you a little heads up of what's happening in history today. Sneak peek. of today's history update that is coming out at 6. It's 8 p.m. Eastern time that it comes out. It comes out at 6 p.m. my time. We have the admission of Minnesota to the Union, May 11th, 1858.
Welcome.
We have the admission of Israel to the United Nations, May 11th, 1949, just 1 year after the creation of the United Nations and the creation of Israel. And then we have May 11th, 1997, IBM supercomputer Deep Blue defeated world chess champion Garry Kasparov in a 6-game match, which began on May 3rd, marking the first time the reigning world champion lost a match to a computer under standard tournament conditions. He was a Russian chess champion. And when I was reading this, and I think Brian's in the chat, right? When I was reading this, learning about it, so, it accelerated investment and interest in AI research, machine learning, and automation, transforming finance, medicine, communications, defense, and daily life. Kasparov says, quote, I could smell a new, he's Russian, hang on. I could smell new kind of intelligence across the table. Is that Russian enough, or did it come off German?
So. No, I think that was very Russian.
Okay, good. But this made me think of AlphaGo, and I don't know if you guys know what AlphaGo is, but CanCon definitely knows what AlphaGo is. This is the story that we were given at the outset of the AI dilemma to create all of this hype that the AIs have now defeated AlphaGo, or have defeated Go. And all of the first one was Lee Sedol, a South Korean Go champion. It's like an ancient Asian game.
Okay.
That's what okay. Yeah, I don't get it, but everybody was like, it was like a big deal that the AI is defeating these human champions. Also, Chinese player KG was defeated the following year by AlphaGo. So AlphaGo is the AI that they created to play Go. And then it came out and, beat all of the humans playing Go. And this is the story that is being told to say, oh my gosh, we need more investment. We need to do an AI pause. We need to stop developing these things because the computers are, going to become Skynet, and Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to come save some kid or something. I think it's a rerun. I thought it was really interesting to see that we're getting the same narrative. Oh my gosh, let's beat this game. Yikes. Yeah. If you want more information on the kind of AI fear porn and my positions on it, I was on with Burning Bright on the narrative last night. And when the movie Oppenheimer came out about the Manhattan Project, Burning Bright and I both wrote articles about it. And we go down this kind of fun rabbit hole about AI during last night's episode of The Narrative. Really fun show. Encourage everybody to check it out. We also had in 1776, on May 11th, Continental Congress recommending that colonies form new governments independent of British authority. So getting closer to July 4th.
Yep.
1960, Israeli agents captured Nazi fugitive Adolf Eichmann in Argentina. And then in 2023, on this day, the U.S. ended the federal COVID-19 public health emergency declaration after more than 3 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember where I was.
I don't. I never bought into any of that shit.
I don't know.
I actually don't remember where I was.
I never observed your public health emergency in the first place, so I don't care when it ended. And that is your week in history. All right. And that is pretty much the show that we have for you. Before we get out of here, though, talk about Gart.
Yes.
Because it's coming up. 28th is our pre-game event for America's 250th birthday. It's going to be an absolute blast. I've been working on my karaoke songs. I don't know about you ladies.
Jackie's been working on something too.
Yes, oh yeah, Jackie, show what you've been working on.
So, America 250.
Oh gosh.
There
you are.
We've got a shirt coming up. So it's going to be like a tie back shirt. It's going to have the stars and the stripes. So, yeah.
And you're going to make a pattern, right?
Yes, I'm going to make a pattern so that people who are also crocheters can also follow along and make them for their family members if they would like to. So,
Love to see it.
Yes.
So you should join us. We think you should come and hang out with us in South Dakota on June 25th through the 28th. It is going to be so much fun. Badlandsmedia.tv/events. I know VIP, I believe, is sold out. Regular tickets still available, a few, but this is going to be a banger. First of all, Deadwood we've done this one 3 times, right? And so this will be our 3rd. So we know we have it wired. We know where the things are, where to go, where to do the karaoke, where to get the Jello shots. We know all of it. And don't do Jello shots without Christy. She gets really butthurt about it, which is justifiably. I'll never do it without you again. Promise.
Well,
Okay.
I did
if we're
Jello
in the same
shots without
place.
her.
No, if we're in the same place.
Okay.
I was gonna say.
If we're in the same state, how about that?
Sounds good.
Same city.
City. Yes, better.
Okay, same restaurant. No, I'm just kidding.
If it is a Wednesday and it is after 2 p.m.,
I will never do
it.
We have a great crew that's going to be there. We're starting to talk about panels and what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be doing our jury experience, which is kind of an embedded part of the experience. This is a pilot. We're testing this out. We're testing it out in Deadwood, in part because we know Deadwood and we understand the lay of the land, the landscape, and the timings and all of the things. So we're able to try new things. But it's going to be, could be a terrible flop, could be the best thing you've ever experienced in your life. I think it's going to be the latter. So everybody should want to be a part of it. If you can't join us in person, you can get a virtual ticket, badlandsmedia.tv/events, and you can join us on the stream. And in the Telegram chat, there's a dedicated Telegram chat for Garts, for every Gart. And it's a lot of fun, a lot of behind the scenes. You get to ask questions of the panels. We do our best to make it as interactive as possible and bring you into the experience as much as we can. But it's going to be awesome. I can't wait. It always goes by too fast.
It does.
And there's never enough time to have all the conversations we want to have. But man, if it's not fun.
Yep. And I think Brian's putting together a golf tournament or some sort of golf excursion too. So
yeah, so you don't want to miss it. Badlandsmedia.tv/event. Get your events plural. Get your Gart tickets, virtual or in person. We would love to have you join us. And super huge shout out to getcurled.com/Badlands, our friends at Native Path, for sponsoring today's show.
Definitely.
And with that, we're going to get out of here. So everybody have a fantastic day. Anything you guys want to drop and pitch before we bounce? Soft disclosure. Well done, Christy.
Yes.
Soft disclosure.
Promo code Badlands.
Yes, I love it.
Solve your lips and don't let your husband shave his beard, or your boyfriend, or whoever.
Yeah. Or your girlfriend. Don't let her shave her beard. Wait, what?
Yeah.
That works. I have shows coming up, so follow me on my channel. There's too many to count, so just follow me.
I will be back this evening with Matt Thayer on Culture of Change. We'll be talking about cancel culture. It will be a lot. Cancel culture is coming from the right now. And it's a little awkward. So we're going to dig into that. Should be fun. With that, we're going to get out of here. Everybody have a fantastic day. We will see you back here next week at 3 p.m. Eastern here on Alphas Make Sandwiches.
Did you get the rants?
We have rants.
Yes.
No, I didn't. So thank you, Jackie.
Yes. Good job.
Denise Antu says, been using the collagen for about a year, and my hair girl, who I just saw today, commented on all the new growth in my hair. Thank you, Native Path. Nice oil. Need to win the lotto. I feel you, girl. Thanks for the anecdote, for your personal experience. My hair, nails, skin, everything is better with Native Path collagen. It's been fantastic. I don't have coffee without it. So I agree with you. And thank you, Denise, for that rant. One with Kat says, thanks for a fun show, ladies. $20 Rumble rant. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. It makes us feel really appreciated. If you're watching us and you have not yet, please hit the thumb or the heart or the whatever the like button is wherever you're watching. Please hit that like button. And if you're watching us on Rumble, please just drop into the chat for like 2 seconds. You can drop a period or a hello or an emoji, or tell us your life story, whatever you want to do. But unique chatters is a metric that helps us, so that would help us out quite a bit. Final rant, Denise Antu, Coke and Pepsi are both gross. Dr. Pepper is the original and the best. Well, I disavow all of that. And Coca-Cola is the superior soda that,
Well, canned Coca-Cola. I feel like it can't be bottled Coca-Cola. I feel like a can of Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
And I just
don't
realized
discriminate
that I've been CanCon this whole time, guys. But my name has been CanCon this whole time. But I think we are bringing back our date night show again this Friday night.
Yay.
So
loved it.
Yes, follow that
Fantastic.
guy that's underneath my name.
It's called Why We're Married.
Yes, every show is Why We Vote. Just rename it.
It's in the Why We Vote. So Patrick Byrne on Phil Scarborough on X was like, you owe Ashe and Brian a show. You need to go on Why We Vote. And Patrick Byrne is like, what's Why We Vote? Who runs it? Now, for folks that don't know, he was supposed to come on Why We Vote. He asked me every question he had about who we were, what we do, what our audience size is, what Badlands is, how many viewers we get on our weekly shows. All of these details. Agreed to come on up until the moment the intro was playing. And then he backed out and said his assistant said she couldn't find the link. And he said he couldn't find the link. And then she said he had a conflict. So I got like competing stories about it, and now he's like, what's Why We Vote? It's just somebody, I forget who it was, and I apologize for forgetting who posted it, but it was hilarious and made me belly laugh. Someone said, if you do finally ever get him on, you should name the show for the one time Why'd You Bail?
No, I especially liked when he changed everything in Badlands schedule to Why We Vote. That was that
was fun. Yeah, because all shows are Why We Vote now.
Yeah,
and we did talk a little bit about Mark Elias and the VRA. So Spetzel, you didn't get it in Y Chromes. That's on Brian. But you did get it on this show. And that's the show we have for you guys. Everybody hit the like button. We love you. We'll see you next time.
Thank you so much for joining us. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up on this video. And a special thank you to all of our advertising partners. Please remember to shift your dollars to support those businesses that support Badlands Media.